remind everyone that while we are here this weekend, it is with one goal in mind, and that is raising money for the fantastic charity Special Effect. For those of you that have... Sorry about that feedback. For those of you who have never heard of Special Effect before, Special Effect are a fantastic charity who create and distribute custom gaming peripherals for disabled gamers, both young and old, and give them the ability to game again, just like anyone else. If you would like to support that and help everyone game as they should be able to, then if you are in the audience here today, all you need to do is get your phone out, go to the camera app, and scan the barcode at the side of the booth. If you're in chat, do !donate. That will bring up the ability to donate. We do have an incentive going for one of the runs later on today. That is for the Hot Wheels run, and it's for Shrek textures. I'm not going to explain it any more than that. Just know that if you want Shrek textures, you should donate as much as you can. With all that said, I'm going to hand things right over to Theory UK. Whenever you're ready, you can begin your run. Just remember to give me a countdown so I can start the timer.
Yeah, as Matt said, I'm Theory UK, and I'm joined by Nick and the house, Nick RB Green and House Test, doing comms to me. And countdown in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. Woo! So, what are we looking at? We're looking at Medical Solid 2, played on PC. This is the Xbox port made for PC. It's quite good. Because it's a console game, it has barely any glitches, but we're gonna see a few cool ones at least. And other than that, yes, we have Fury here is one of the top runners in the game currently for the very easy category. For people that think very easy isn't interesting at all, let me tell you, it is just one hot speed run back to back non-stop, and Fury's going to prove that to you hopefully in the next upcoming hour.
So you might be wondering why it says literally spam in the bottom right hand corner of Theory screen. This is because Metal Gear Solid 2 we allow runners to use turbo, and this is to get through cutscenes quickly and to get through codecs. This was a community decision that was voted on a couple of years ago, and it's mainly because none of us want carpal tunnel syndrome, and as the ability to use turbo is actually sort of baked into the PC version of MGS2 already, we just basically enable that feature with some config files.
Yeah, one of these allows us also to see if turbo is active or not, which is absolutely helpful for us.
But now we have the first boss!
There we go, this is Olga, she's walking away from us. If she ever stands on the right side or the left, there's a chance for us to loop her. Let's see if it works out for us. There we go, looks good.
This is looking good.
And there we go, we got her, she doesn't do her speech, which
good.
is iconic. Oh, missed one, we can still got a chance.
Oh, fantastic.
Very good job.
That is the fastest Olga there.
Missed one there at the end.
Yeah,
missed on that.
1:33, awesome time. Let's continue on. Tanker is on its own a great chapter. That speedrun has so many people just doing this one specific part of MGS2, and many people have gotten low 5-minute times already. And it's insane how optimized that part of the speedrun already is. So now moving on all the way down to the bottom where we see the next encounters. The point to know, very easy, has some cool things that are happening in the category. For example, if you get an alert like this, oops, it does not matter because alerts do not transfer across rooms. We have to get out of the room first though, like this, and then the alert will be cleared again for us. Which actually makes for some very good strategies where we can just tank the alert as whatever and move on past that.
Yeah, very easy is the only difficulty where alerts don't carry over. Every other difficulty has quite different routing to make sure that we either only get alerts when we want them, or we try and avoid alerts altogether. So it's why very easy is very popular and very competitive, because it is non-stop run. You know, there's not a lot of room for
enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit.
There we go. So we saw a few equipping the camera here quickly and unequipping it. We're gonna need that later. So hopefully we get a chance to explain the ladder glitch, but we'll see when we get there. First off, here's the engine room where we're gonna go to this guy. He's gonna call in an alert, but we don't let him fully finish it. So instead it's just gonna shake his little radar and the commander's asking what's going on. We're sending our people, and it's actually helpful for us because we want to have an alert once we go to a certain cutscene trigger that we just want to skip in that state. And also we're gonna go to Domino's now. Anyone fancy pizza? Pizza, anyone? We got some Domino's here at least, so that's good. There we go. Because we have the caution, you don't get in the game.
Stay on lookout for the intruder!
Very easy, just one C4 to take care of. And taken care of without any issues.
Yeah, you might have seen me skip up the stairs in engine room there and skip down a few of the other stairs early on. Yeah, this is a trick that was found by a guy named Dav Wildstar, so we call it like the Dav stairs. And basically what we do is we just mash square or X on an Xbox controller, and that allows Snake's like aiming animation to just take over, or like melee animation to take over the movement animation, and so you just skip up the stair set instead of walking up them.
The enemy is attacking!
It saves
Stay
like
alert,
0.1
everyone!
or something of a second, so it's not even worth doing most of the time, unless you're going for top times.
Alright, so we're coming up to the next boss. This is going to be the guard rush.
There you go. We have to take care of 7 guards here. 4 in the beginning, or 5 I think, and then 3 later. So here we're going. There's one that's always behind me behind this box. We got
these Cheetos.
There we go. Take care of that one. And then just the 3 last. We're just going to take quick headshots here. With perfect timing. And there we go.
Good.
That's it.
So good.
Quite good here at 4:30, going out into the next set. Alright, so what's the ladder glitch? Let me quickly explain. So we have 2 animations that we're playing on top of each other, and then we're just going to have the game glitch out and figure, oh, what's happening? And then instead of falling down to a death, we're just going to quickly descend down there where we want to be. So let's have a look here. There we
And
go.
that's the ladder glitch.
That's the ladder glitch. I did not practice that at all. Yeah, the trick is basically we have the camera on, and instead of going into the camera before that, we already say we want to be on the ladder. The game gets a little bit confused, and we can glitch around that and all of a sudden stand at the bottom of the stairs.
Holds 2, there's a few different ways of getting through here. There's obviously going for the domino effect there.
It was just falling over. Once again, dominoes.
And then finally, Theory just needs to take some photos of Metal Gear Ray. Because the PC version is played in 16:9, the widescreen version, you can do it from 2 different angles. So he's going to take 4 photos in very specific locations. And that is the tank, assuming he got all the photos correct, which...
Did you view, you see the Marines logo?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure we got it.
Yeah. Quite good time here, going sub 6 minutes out of that tanker portion. And there you go.
There we go.
Great start here for that speedrun already. And now
Yeah,
we're moving on.
as I think House mentioned earlier, you can see these overlays on my screen, these GUIs. They were made by a community member, BMN, in the MGS2 community. He's the MVP, he makes all for all the games. He's made loads of tools for us. So he's made a timer and like a GUI for our turbo and other things, plenty of other stuff he's made for us to just make our lives easier while running.
Yeah, big shout
So
out.
shout out to BMN.
Woo! MGS1, MGS2, mobile. I think Unmetal also did a little too.
Unmetal does.
Yeah. Great work.
Alright, so if you don't know Metal Gear Solid 2, you may be wondering, who the heck is this guy? Because this doesn't look like Snake.
At least the English version. In the Japanese version, they do share the same voice actor in the beginning. We're just gonna go over here to the terminal a little bit. Just get electrocuted. The things you do when you just touch a panel if you're wet. I mean, don't touch a panel when you're wet. It's easy, but our guy here just doesn't manage to do that. And there we go. So now we're on a little bit of a timer, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave the guards to wake up and be like going into a caution state. That will have the elevator come down a little bit faster. And I would assume Fury is going to go back quickly and grab the N9. There he does. Where we're just quickly going to grab the best weapon in the entire game, just to tranquilize all the guards. If you don't grab it down here, you can also grab automatically going up. In this difficulty, it is very useful to us, especially because we have some rooms where we just want to take them out, and the M9 shots are just one shots.
You'll notice that I'll be able to immediately equip the M9 here, and that's because I did a little menu trick on the tanker as we exited. I went to the console at the tanker to put in the photos with the USP equipped and M9 on previous, and because we're running on previous, when we load into the plant, it thinks that M9 is still on previous because we had the USP, so that when we pick up the M9 we can just immediately click it the menu button and equip it. So we save time. It saves menuing. It's like saves you like half a second or so menuing.
And it's just comfortable. You just click it quickly. You don't need to menu once. Like, come on, we don't have time for that. All right, moving now here our way towards the bomb disposal expert, who will teach us a little bit about that. Thankfully, we are on a new game plus set. That means we already paid for the game once, and the game said, okay, I think I explained this to you already, so we're not going to see the 69-minute long cutscene play out, which we definitely don't want to have today. First of all, a little bit more of codec, a little bit more walking around, and there's another menu trick that we can do up next. Once we go to Pliskin. We're just gonna quickly unequip the N9, and then the game will once again think, oh, I got the N9 in our hand and on previous, and it will let us, after we talk to the bomb disposal expert, have it just re-equip again. And it's those tiny things, trust me, they add up in the end.
Talking the tiny things that add up in the end, you'll notice the theory is cartwheeling or aerialing or rolling, whichever term you want to use, all over the place. It is slightly faster than just normally running. The only thing is you do have to be very careful exactly when and how you roll, because you can lose time. If you roll into a wall, then Raiden will just stop and not move. So it's something that you have to get used to. Obviously, Theory's been playing this for a very, very long time. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oops, we're having the wrong GPU equipped. This should be fine though, it doesn't matter the water textures.
As long as the rest of the textures are working fine, it should be alright.
It should. This usually happens on laptops when you have like 2 GPUs and you equip them wrong, and then the water textures all of a sudden are on the CPU instead of the GPU and stuff, but it's fine.
Yeah, as Nick mentioned before with cartwheels, if you cartwheel straight into a wall by accident and you completely stop and you just go into the wall, it loses you a second each time. You should pretty much only cartwheel in straight lines when there's nothing in the way. If you cartwheel and slide along the wall or surface, you still lose time, you just don't lose as much. And I didn't get that menu trick, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to equip them. It should have worked, but it didn't.
It's fine. Again, this is a tiny thing, but they can add up over the course of an hour. Right now, it's on to the bomb diffusal, and there's 2 ways we can approach it, either clockwise or counterclockwise. It has recently been found out it's just more convenient for us to do it counterclockwise on most difficulties, and the way how this makes sense for us is that we're going to teleport using boxes and the delivery system that is on this very much shell. So at the beginning we just go all the way back, and now in strut B we have a fancy box that we're just going to open the door for, don't move at all, and then look down. There's interesting enough 2 ways where you can defuse the bombs fast and slow, and if you're in the right angle and the right distance, you can just do it quickly here.
Clockwise bombs is very much the beginner-friendly version. There's not so many tricks that you need to do, there's not so many guards you have to take care of. There's a specific trick in anti-clockwise, which we're going to see shortly, which does save a few seconds. It's not actually a big difference, particularly on PC, because PC doesn't have very long loading times. You'll notice that like every load transition is very, very fast. On console versions, the loading is a lot shorter. It's a lot longer. Sorry. So the trick that we use in anti-clockwise, which is going to use the cardboard box, which you're going to see Theory grab now. This trick saves a lot more time on console because we actually end up going in 2 rooms less during this whole sequence.
This especially matters on PS2. As I said in the beginning, we are running the Xbox version, which actually does not count loads, thankfully, and the same applies then to the PC version for us. But still, in general, it's also, I personally think it's nicer. It's a cute little glitch that we're going to use. It's not even that big. And one of the other things we do, we just defuse the bomb from across the room, basically. There we go. Alright, so we got box 1 now. And we're going to use it a little bit later. We're going to take still a long tour around this whole shell, just defusing a few more bombs.
There's another little trick there that Theory was using called the coolant rise. If you equip the coolant as you're standing up and then quickly unequip it, it will completely cancel out Raiden's standing up animation. He'll immediately be on his feet, and that saves a few tenths of a second.
Yeah. One of the many, many small things that really add up in a big scene. Oop, there you go, that was one in the bomb.
There is a little trick on that bridge. I stuck to the bottom or the lower side of the rail there, and that's because if you go anywhere in the middle or to the top side of the rail, the guard will turn and spot you. Yep. So we want to be able to get right up on him before he sees us.
Yeah, just drop on him, and you're good to go here. There's runners that also grab the stun gun here for something else, but we can also just use a claimer that we're gonna pick up in just a second. But first we're getting a few cool goals again, as it is with Medical Solid. Jack, do you remember what day it is tomorrow?
Rose, I'm in the middle of a mission with terrorists. Now is not the time to talk about our relationship.
So, okay. Moving on. Coming into the puzzle room. This is the room where we're gonna use the boxes to teleport around. This whole delivery system here. Multiple boxes that take us to a different station of this very much shell. But before we go there, we are gonna quickly just go upstairs, fuel another bomb, and grab box number 3, which we're gonna need later as well.
Get used to looking at Stratty and the parcel room. We're going to be in this room a lot throughout the run.
Yeah. Once again, just gonna quickly go up here. Aerial our way forward, and there you go. Just defuse the bomb as is.
It's probably worth noting on very easy and some of the other easier difficulties, all of the bombs are always in the same place.
Yes.
It's only when you get to later difficulties where there are extra bombs and bombs that are in slightly different locations.
Yes. There's also a new game plus version where Raiden and Snake have sunglasses on. It's not as fancy as with MGS1 where you actually wear a tuxedo, but I guess we take it.
So you'll have seen there that on his way back Theory grabbed another box. That's because he's going to do the box trick twice. But this is the first version of the box trick.
There you go. Shoot here. Oh, we're not meant to go up here while the whole thing is running, but thankfully we can just glitch up there.
somebody there.
And there we go. No, back
And
again here.
now he's in Strut C.
Exactly. So you can remind yourself, we went from like 12 o'clock all the way backwards to like 3, teleported to 12, and now we're doing
Who's
the rest
there?
from 12 to 3 in clockwise rotation again. We're gonna switch over to the box soon. This guard, if he sees us, that's actually good for us, because it will be alerting, and we don't
It's the
have that
enemy,
cutscene play here where the camera sees us. Just a little callback to MGS1.
A surveillance camera.
There we go, just dropping down here. It's on one of these panels. Once again, every time in the same place here for us. The guard will spot us, but that's totally fine.
Who's there?
You can just yoink him with the M9 and then there we go, defuse. And that's it, that's all the bombs. Now we're just gonna make our way back to Strut A. And for that, once again, we're gonna use box 3 this time with the same method that we used beforehand. Just glitch on that conveyor belt. And now, then after that, I would say the actual speedrun begins where we have actual boss encounters. So, or more, it will be more heated now.
Yeah, the pacing of MGS2 is very interesting because it ebbs and flows a lot. Like Tanker is very, very action orientated, and then you get into Plant and a lot of people get turned off by the bomb disposal section because it's a little tedious, I suppose.
It's the enemy.
But there's not really a lot happening. And then once that ends, pretty much once you get to the first boss, which is Fat Man, it then goes back into this non-stop action.
Yeah.
And then again, the very end of the game kind of draws out a little bit before the last couple of bosses.
Yes. We spent like 10 minutes here now since we ended the Tanker, so it's quite a huge part in a 1 hour.
But for speedrunning, that's actually really nice because it's good to have some downtime and to have some time just to move.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, very easy, just pretty much optimize movement. Everything needs to be pretty much on point because it's, as Nick and House said, it's a highly competitive category. It's the most played category of the game. We're almost at 100 runs on the board for this, so there's a lot of people that run this and have run it and have pushed it quite far, to be honest. There's a lot of people that have pushed it quite far and discovered a lot of cool tricks that we use.
And that's 100 runs just on PC, never mind console.
Yeah. And it's highly accessible as well. Sadly, Konami has taken down 2 and 3 from online stores last, I think, November for the birthday of MGS2, which is a weird gift, but I guess we're gonna live with it. But hopefully they can bring it back soon again.
Yeah, if you're interested in Metal Gear Solid 2 but you don't have a really good PC, you know, you don't need, well, for a start you don't need a really good PC. You can run MGS2 on anything. It is a very, very easy game to run. But obviously it is also available on PS2, Xbox, and then there's the HD edition, which runs on PS3 and Xbox 360. MGS3 on the HD edition actually runs best on the Xbox Series S/X. The backwards compatibility is fantastic. MGS2 would be the same with that, but the PC version is always going to be the superior version.
Yeah. Sadly, there's never been a PC version of MGS3. If that would have been, it might have been the most popular game then. But yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. What's fun to say is there's also always new things that we find out even after multiple decades. Just this week we found out we could skip the ladder in MGS3. It was highly controversial, at least for fans of this series, but for us speedrunners it was a great blessing. It's certainly not yet fully functional in the full speedrun, but other than that, hey, there's always new things. Fortunately, by the way, this fight we don't need to explain much. It's really on a little bit of a timer. We want to have her destroy most of the surroundings, and then she will automatically just forward and we can continue on. Here we just did that magnificently, and that's the fight. We cannot attack her. She doesn't even really exist as an object in the world, so there's really no point in trying anything that's other than have her destroy the surrounding area.
Yeah, that fight's on a rail pretty much, but you can manipulate it.
You can definitely lose time, that's for sure.
A community member by the name of Tino spent a long time labbing that out and figuring out that you could manipulate it.
Yep.
So
that was some really good movement just there, grabbing those chafronades. There's actually 2 claymores hiding around there, and it is quite tricky. It can be quite tricky to avoid those claymores. So that was some nice movement.
And Furious now specifically not gonna equip any weapon because he has the coolant spray on his previous. And we're gonna start the next boss fight, Fat Man, with the SOCOM in a hand. And SOCOM and coolant is exactly what we need, so we're just gonna walk past this guy, use the box here to just bypass him. And once again, the alert here that we take, it doesn't matter. Even the backup guards that are coming in are not fast enough. We're just leaving the area, and in the next room, the alert has been reset. There we go. It just looks so funny without any water.
yeah, it does. Normally you'd see like all the textures and stuff.
Yeah. Once again, this is fine. This is probably just some used to GPU issue. But other than that, the game runs well.
If you squint really hard, you might be able to see Gurgle.
Yeah, we can only recommend also if you want to improve your game here, play the VR missions. There's so many good levels, like over thousands, I think. If we also count time attack and score attack as separate things, and it really helped.
There is only one downside to the PC version of Substance. It doesn't contain the PS2 exclusive skateboarding section, sadly. Alright, it's time for a boss! Woo! It's Fat Man!
Yeah, we're just going to copy it over here, shoot a little bit in the back, give him one headshot, quickly move over here to the bomb, defuse that. Quick defuse, very nice, shoot one more time, and then we have manipulated him, hopefully to go down stealth. No, sadly didn't. That's fine, it's just on the way here, one more headshot and we're good to go. Move over to the second bomb, just in a precise location here, get another quick defuse, and that's the fight. Beautiful.
That was really good fight.
It's because I got turned
So
on.
move Fat Man out of the way for to get that C4.
There we go. Another defuse, and that's it. As we said, now there's more things coming back to back, so there's more action happening. The next step is that we need to find Ames. Are you Ames? I hope you are Ames. It's a fun little thing, so because we're on New Game Plus, we're gonna find a character called Ames in one of the holding cells. And if we were in New Game, he's always in the same position, but because we're in New Game Plus, we have to take basically RNG. He can be in one of, I think, 24 positions. And mostly he's on the bad spot for us. But it's still worth it compared to having to wait the endlessly long cutscene that we have skipped earlier. Alright, get the BDU on and let's get going. The claimer that we picked up earlier will also come in now, because we're gonna later have an elevator or door open for us instead of having closing us, saving a bit of time. But until then, first we have to grab the AK, and because we're on very easy, I think Sparty found that, one of the great speedruns that we have on our Discord. He said like, you know, on very easy we don't need to go to the armory, we can just go straight to the core, and it will be in a slightly different position. And that's only possible on very easy, where we can pick it up also initially here in the core.
Yeah, the purpose of the BDU and the AK here is we're disguising as one of the enemy soldiers. There's going to be an elevator with a camera. We need to make sure that we've got the AK equipped in order for the camera to think that we're a guard.
Yeah, just like we did in the previous run that I did in Metal Gear. Always disguising as the enemy. Oh, there you go, there's the menu. Just copy into that guy. Every time we copy into a guard, they also just get knocked out. Helps us a lot. And yeah, that guy will notice that, but it doesn't matter too much. He's just gonna get into the elevator before he can actually load on us.
You actually can't equip the Claymore there too quickly, otherwise he will just spot you.
Yeah, then he will.
Alert. And
We're just gonna get the alert here now, because the alert has been started in the elevator will now stay open. Which is great, because we don't need to wait for the elevator to come down on us. Alright, the whole point why we're gonna go down here is we're gonna grab the directional mic, because this Ames character, we can only identify him either by his looks, or we just listen for his heartbeat, because he has a pacemaker. And it's the only guy that has like pop, 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 pop.
If you're not under caution or alert in that room, there's a little cutscene that plays with like a guard. There's like a guard, like he's lost his mind or something. He starts running around. It's never explained really what's going on with that guard, but yeah, it just takes you out of it for a second. So a quick knock here to lure this guard over, and then Drew's just going to get into the right position so that he can immediately unequip, grab,
Yoink in there, we're good to go.
and get through the retinal scanner.
we need everybody to pray for R and Jesus to give us a good aim.
Please give us a good aim.
A God aims here.
It's really like, I think 20 seconds of time difference if you have a bad one or a good one. Okay, he's not in right half. But he's almost close to the new game position. It's not too bad. Could be worse.
It could have been worse.
Yeah. Northwest, just above where he was there, is the worst position you can get. You can beat any one of the spawns in the room pretty much, and that is the worst position. The best position, or what we call God aims, would be as soon as I gain control and walk down, the first 4 hostages can be him. That would be a God aim.
That would be amazing. I had that happen once in, I don't know, 100 of runs.
And of course, it never happens on a good run.
It never happens on a good run.
Always get the worst aims on a good run.
It's always the same.
Unfortunately, Ames is now dead.
We're just gonna quickly make
There's
our way
someone
out.
else here. Send backup ASAP.
So for the next bit, we're gonna go actually back to the armory, where we would have grabbed the AK if we did grab it here. And we're gonna grab sneakily the PSG-1. So we're gonna go a little bit on the sniping mission next. There we go. Just copying over these panels again that have been reinstated, thankfully. Just copying into these stairs, which is tricky sometimes. You can make it in the wrong angle or wrong timing, and you will actually fall on your butt. You have to get up again, costs you time, so it was greatly done. There we go. Just in the right corner here, walking down, easy peasy. Even the guy, if he sees us, he doesn't actually spot us in full. Just gonna investigate, and we're already out again. Yeah, this is also really where it shows that it's a speed run. We're running just from A to B in all the spaces. Not much to say really. Other than, hey, we're here at UKSM at Insomnia 68. If you want to support the charity that we run here for, just go and support for special effects. Write ! donate in chat. Will help us a lot. Thank you so much. Right, the last set of bridges, and then we can finally move on. Once again, no water percent. We're saving all the frames for it. Yeah, the best performance that we can get. But yeah, as I said, MGS2 runs literally on any laptop. It doesn't need much power at all. And even if you can even drop it down to 720p, and it will most likely run on 90% of the current laptops that are out there in the world.
There is actually a bug with this game though. If you turn all the graphics to low and you get into, you take enough damage to bleed, there is a bleed mechanic in this game.
Yeah.
You can actually end up getting what we call a bleed bug, which will just make your game drop to like 1 FPS. It makes it unplayable. If you do it at the end of a boss fight though, you can actually save it. Sometimes the game will crash, sometimes it'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can actually save it because you'll just get a health refill after a boss fight. And multiple times I get that happen to me at Fortune, and then I just managed to wait it out pretty much.
Yeah. Prozak is asking how the tanker went. Tanker was like 6 minutes. But anyway, we're now here in the Harrier fight. We quickly grab the Stinger and hopefully get a great start. 4 shot, waiting for the 5th. Works good.
Very
There we go.
nice.
Just taking 1 more shot, and then we can almost be done with this. We're just gonna grab a little bit of extra ammo here and wait in the right position where we can shoot it. Perfect. That's a 5+1, exactly what we want. Just 2 more shots, and we should be good to go and end the fight very quickly. And that's it.
That is a perfect Harrier.
Textbook Harrier.
Theory made that look so easy, and it is not. That's
not
really, really precise shots to get that down.
Yeah. It's very easy to mess up the timing or the direction that you want to shoot at because partially these shots are just from your hip. But it's going great. Absolutely great here.
That fight is one of the most technical parts of the entire run.
Yes. 100%. Alright, now it's time for the second half of this entire base where we try to find the president. Just gonna walk here. Nothing much to do. On high difficulties there will be guards coming out. We need to equip the BDU, but I'm very easy. There's nobody coming out here. Once again, speak more for the fact that you just have to be as precise as you can be. Take the most optimal lines and yeah, on the highest of highest levels, which Theory definitely plays on. It really comes down to slight changes in the angle. Once again, we have 2 shafts here that we picked up earlier where the claymores were. They're coming in right now in clutch. First one, we get actually an intended alert here, so cutscene doesn't play if we were to turn the corner here. And then the second shaft will be just before we enter the next shell where there will be more drones waiting for us. So, it's dropping down here. Refreshing the chaff effects, and now we're just good to go. Over here. Here comes the tricky part where I'm still always nervous. It doesn't matter how many times I do this, just cartwheeling over these gaps is always frightening. Both that, the leap of faith right after the Harrier fight and these here, just like, oh, please don't mess up. Alright, this is a cutscene we're actually going to hold left and X, so we skip right away, but we want to turn first. A little setup that Apache Smash found that helps us here to have a good getaway right away as the Dima gets unequipped for us, and then we can just go.
Shout outs to Apache Smash. Follow him at Apache Smash on Twitter.
Indeed. But, so the thing that you didn't see in the cutscene that we skipped is that there's an electric floor right before the president, so he can't get out, but we also cannot get to him. But we just can shoot out the electric panel just like an MGS1, and for that we need the Nikita, and that is downstairs. We're gonna quickly swim down there and grab it. This whole section down here is underwater, and there will be a way cooler glitch coming later as well. So look forward for water levels. I wouldn't think of that. But yeah, I think water levels here are really fantastic. Look at that dolphin go. It's gonna twiddle the stick here, turn around on the spot, and we're good to go.
As you see, the hitbox for picking up the Nikita is massive.
Yes. It's really friendly for us, so if you think you cannot swim, it's fine. We're good.
As you see, Theory's now set up his weapons for the next fight. He's going to want the Stinger launcher ready for the fight against Vamp. So that's some of the preparation that has to go into this run, thinking like, 2 or 3 rooms ahead.
Yes. Just going up here, shooting one of these. Try to take as least turns as possible. And we're good to go.
What are you doing?
It is possible to kill the president here. Also found out by Apache Smash. Don't do that. It takes a lot of time. And now we're good to go. Just walk in there, and then there's a lengthy cutscene codec conversation. Thankfully with Turbo we can just hold the same buttons and just get through it fast. If you were on console where we can't have Turbo like that, you just have to always say skip with X and then triangle to go fast forward and skip with X again, back and forth. Another reason maybe why the PC version is just the best, because it's so convenient in many aspects. And there we go. Just going out here. President's dead. Rip. And moving on now, we're gonna grab Emma, the sister of hell.
Yeah, it's a bit of a running theme particularly in MGS2. Raiden meets people and then very quickly they die.
Yes. And he's gonna cry. On our way. Alright, so now it's time for the cool swimming section. As I said, what we're going to do is called the swim glitch. Instead of going through the entire basement and opening doors and then going through more cutscenes and codecs, we're just going to go straight to the trigger that loads us into the next room. And that will be actually another boss fight with Bam. Just making our way over here.
Oh, got fast elevator.
Hey!
Elevators in this game, in pretty much in MGS1 as well, based on frame rates or like frame timers. So basically, it's every certain set of frames, you can get a fast elevator. So there's no real way to like get it on point.
Yep.
It just happens if you're lucky enough.
Right, so Swinglish, how does it work? Basically, we want Raiden to be in the perfect alignment here between two textures. We're just gonna mash left and circle, and then slowly just raise our y-axis, slowly going up. And once we're high enough, we can just glitch past the texture and swim out of bounds. Thankfully, without drowning. And there you go. Whoops, almost good. We just salvage it here, and we're out.
And out of bounds.
There you go. With that, we just swim over across the room, behind the door that we usually would need to wait for some codecs and cutscenes to happen, and we go directly to the next boss area, which is Lamp 1. And please, stay tuned, don't close your eyes, because it's going to be very fast. Oh no, failed.
I didn't aim properly. I'll just take a death here, because it's quicker than fighting.
It is actually worth
normally.
it, yes, because now he would be going down, it would be swim around, and take his time to go up. There we just shoot in at his feet, he will just constantly get damage here, and there we go.
And that's why it was quicker for Theory to take the death than try and do the fight.
Yeah, the fight, like casually, is just pointless. You waste too much time.
Yes.
It's easier to just do that.
There's also a non-lethal version where we just constantly snap in and walk through him, but of course, on very easy, it doesn't really matter what we do, we just want to do the fastest version. Right now, final swimming section before we meet Emma. Literally just going across here, going to the left, and we're good to go. And from this point on, the story gets very wordy and complex about AI and what does it mean to be in a society. We don't really care much about that. Once again, we're just going to skip here. And Female is equipped with the coolant spray, not any kind of weapon. I found that interesting because I would expect there's a few guards that we need to take care of soon. Well, let's stay tuned what's going to happen. Go, another swim section, just going all the way back now, basically where we came from. Sadly, there's no more swim glitch like that. We can just do the regular version, which will also have us actually open a door, which usually would already be open if you were to do the regular version. But it's actually worth it skipping that and then going out of bounds. And yeah, by the way, this one, we don't need to have ammo follow us. We can just go out the door. There you go, awkward situation. Let's just quickly go past that. Nobody wants to see this. Yeah, this is basically the part where everyone's like, oh, I gotta get Emma. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Come on.
A lot of people complain about Emma in MGS2, but there's a really good comparison for why Emma's really good in MGS2, and that's Eva at the end of MGS3. If you've ever seen that run, right at the very end of the game, you have Eva following you, and you have no control over her whatsoever. You just have to beckon her to come toward you and she'll follow you. In MGS2, you have complete control over Emma. Yeah, it's slow and you have to guide it yourself, but because you have complete control over it, it's so much better in a speed run. Yeah. Also, Emma can teleport through floors.
Oh wow, let's see that. The biggest thing that's coming up in the next part is actually that usually we would need to get rid of bugs with the coolant spray. So Emma can actually walk over it, or we're just gonna ignore that and, you know, just drag her along a little bit with force. That's fine. She wants her first. It's cool. Yeah, so before we go to the elevator here, as I said, there will be bugs. We're just gonna drag her up to the edge, have the elevator open, and then just gonna carry her with a nice little chokehold as such. And there we go. No problem with the bugs. Speaking of bugs, what are we gonna do next?
So this is the Emma zip. Theory's going to get Emma into a very specific portion of the corner. There's very, very exact inputs, and hopefully
let's go. First bump.
That was really good.
It can happen that this doesn't happen at all, but this was first bump, awesome. So what has happened now that actually Emma is in the out of bounds and all the guards actually go like, oh, what happened? They're in the alert state. So we're going to actually leave the room to the right, where we want to be anyway, and now we just need to go back and drag her actually from a way closer spot at the door. So that was already awesome, saving us around 8 seconds in total. And in the very next room, we want to do the same thing again. Hopefully it works also, and that's another 7 seconds that we can save here.
Yeah, this trick was found recently, last year, by another runner who goes by the name Miss Chelsea. She was just doing a run and it was kind of a dead run. And she was just hiding from a backup unit. She got an alert by accident. She was hiding from a backup unit and then all of a sudden she just zipped Emma. She just walked into Emma and she bumped out of bounds. So we were just like confused by
there
it.
we go.
Nice. There we go, second one.
Awesome.
We were confused by it. I took a clip of it off her stream, posted it in the Discord, then there was like 4 or 5 of us in there trying to recreate it. Eventually we recreated it, and then from then on we've just been labbing it out until we got it to where it is now.
Yeah. It's super precise, but you can actually practice it and learn it. So even the current world record, brand new one by DLMs13, is also using that one. Wow, that was awesome, dude.
That was so good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they both work that well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
usually, even though we do them now, compared to when we first found it, because it was a lot harder to do when we first found the trick.
Oh yeah.
It's still RNG. If you mess it up, you still have to execute it properly. And the second one on KL is still RNG. There's no real execution like setup for it. You just do the setup and hope that it works.
Yeah, we're just feeling our way around basically. But yeah, so far so good. Let's move on to the section which another runner of us calls a perfect moment to just call a mom and tell that we love her.
I think this is going to look so buggy as well with no water.
Yeah,
Because
God,
there's
yeah.
no water.
I did that once on the laptop. There's
Yep.
nothing else. We're just in the air, moving on.
So trying to stop Emma from falling into the void.
Yeah, we're just
This bit is on rails. We're waiting for Emma, but there are a couple of things we can do to speed it up. It's mainly making sure that none of the enemies spot her. Also, we don't want to look at her through the scope because sometimes that can cause her to trip over, and that loses about 7 seconds every time she trips over. But apart from that, once you've taken care of the enemies, it's just waiting for Emma to move over to the next section. And this whole section can be an absolute nightmare for, if you're on world record pace, you've been going and going and going, and then suddenly it is, right, you're going to chill out for 9 minutes.
It's a very long time. But yeah, maybe talk a little bit about us, Medical Speedrunners. Again, we can teach you how to run this game. Maybe find a coupon for it. Just so join Medical Speedrunners on Discord. And we're happy to teach you this game. We want to get rid of these 100 runners on the board. You'd think, as how popular the game series is, the speedrunning community is still fairly small compared to others, but hey, we're doing our best. We got great resources everywhere, great people teaching and just giving tips. And if you just want to chat like, hey, I just like the games, well, why don't you just join as well? We do constant events. Currently a little bit on a break because of a little bit reset situation, but other than that, just like we did last year, we want to hold tournaments again. So it's a great moment also to just join up and learn new games if you just want to do new stuff in speedrunning as well.
Yeah, over the last few years we ran a very easy MGS2 tournament, which went on for a very, very long time, but people really enjoyed it. There was a Metal Gear Solid 1 PC All Bosses tournament, which is it's kind of how me and House first got involved in Metal Gear Speedrunners. And then there was the Twin Snakes tournament, which again, these tournaments are a really good way of getting people into the game and getting more hands on it. Discoveries were made in every game after we ran these tournaments, because all of a sudden, rather than having a dedicated 2 or 3 runners who play it every so often, you've got 24 people all playing it constantly to improve, and new discoveries get made all of the time. Of course, a lot of people might remember last year there was the famous Boba Skip found in Metal Gear Solid 1 that did absolute amazing things for the community, and really brought new people in. And these little discoveries are made all of the time, but some of the big ones, and particularly like just recently in the news about April finding the ladder glitch in Metal Gear Solid 3. It's been amazing, and there's always something going on. So if you're a big fan of these games, and it doesn't have to be the main series, we've got runners in every single game in the series. You want to run Rising, we've got people who run Rising. You want to run the MSX games, I mean, you've already seen House do Metal Gear 1, we've got people who do Metal Gear 2. Do you want to run Metal Gear Survive? We have got Metal Gear Survive runners.
Yes.
We do it all. So, if you want to learn any game in the series, please come join us. Just search for Metal Gear Speedrunners on Google. Our website and Discord will be the first hits you see.
Yeah. You can get the smiley here.
and we're friendly as heck.
Once again, as we explained earlier, we cannot really do much here. We just can prevent basically Emma from being shot or from falling down without looking at her and just getting every obstacle out of her way.
I love how there's no water, but you can still see the reflections of the sun.
Yes. Texture missing. Reflections active. There you go. It's the little things.
I will point out, I'm actually stood in a specific spot to stop Emma from falling over. If you stand here where the thermal goggles spawn, it just stops. It basically, she can still fall over if you just stare at her.
Yeah.
But this basically negates most of it. Also, just never zoom. If you zoom in, you just increase your chances of making her fall over.
Yep. And that takes like 4 seconds. I had that on my current PB, which is just 1 hour and 3 minutes flat. And like 1 hour and 2 minutes is like a magical barrier, which not many have. And I've been robbed from it in so many small things. I will get it sometime again in the future.
This category is just really competitive because it's the most optimized category in the difficulty range. So like it has the most runners, it's had the most eyes on it, so it's had the most work done to the route to get it where it is.
And there we go. Now we've taken care of everything. We're just waiting here for Emma to finally make her end. And we should just walk after her, upload the virus, and we're good to go. Mission over.
And if you thought that first vamp fight was fast, well, don't blink for this one.
There we go.
And that's vamp 2.
GG! Yeah, for people who are wondering why there's no water there, once again, it's like a graphics glitch that happens if there's like 2 GPUs. Mostly happens on laptops, and in this PC version it can happen that some assets are just allocated to the wrong GPU. The game still works perfectly fine, there's just no water all of a sudden.
Remember when I said earlier that get used to the parcel room? Yeah, we're back in the parcel room again.
Yeah, I missed it. Just getting ready here. We're basically making our way back to the core. There will be more turrets here that we're just going to shoot out quickly and then hopefully not get shot at all. Or else we're going to fall down straight here into the not water.
You actually don't want to take continue in this point.
Yeah.
When there's a timer on screen, as you can see in the side there, anytime you take a death or a continue, it puts you back to the exact start of the entire room that you started at when the timer came up. So for this section, if I took a death there on the bridge, I would be reset back into that room where after the codec, where I have to walk through the Strat-E parcel room. So it's arguably probably the worst place to take a death.
Yeah. But other than that, we're good to go. Now we're finally done with the shell. We're now moving on into the turtle itself. GW.
And if you watched House's MSX run earlier, you'll remember that he said that a staple of the series is you get captured.
It is.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is no exception.
Yeah.
You know this?
I mean,
Although-
even in Unmetal, we literally start like
in
that.
Unmetal, you were started captured.
So yeah, stay tuned after this one. We're going to see Nick here do Unmetal next.
There's a slight variation on the capture with MGS2, which if you've not played MGS2 before, just be prepared for this.
Whoop! We just saw it.
Yeah, Raiden is action man.
He is action. He
He's
is action man.
Exactly. Alright, so just getting out here, we would need to wait for Rose to call us, or we just call her directly. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take the little punch here from Olga, and then as soon as we look up, we can call Rose, continue the story, again, once again ask what day it is, and just ignore her, as usual, and move on. There you go. And now we're getting released. Oh my god!
Yeah, because of the resolution and things like that on the PC version, you shouldn't be able to see down there. I don't know what phrase to use here, but yeah, just because the PC resolution is a bit different, and you know, black bars aren't there and things like that. You see things that you shouldn't be seeing.
But it is a 16 or 15 in Europe. So.
Alright, so would be ideal here to not get any alerts. As you see, this one guard is on our way, but if we're knocking out early enough, we're not getting any alerts, and there won't be guards coming up here to stop us. Awesome. Just made it past the roll, and we're good to go.
Again, that's another section that looked really easy, but it really isn't. Getting that roll onto that guard before he calls an alert in, and it's not like with the other guards. Normally, when a guard spots you, he'll stop, like ask, "Who are you?" and then get his radio out, call in on the radio. Yeah. With the Tengus, they spot you, instant alert. They don't need a radio or anything. So yeah, getting that roll and knocking that guard out before he spotted him was, it's quite a precise roll. So it's really, really good.
As always, tight timing and clear movement really does a lot. Alright, moving on here, we're finally meeting Snake for the very first time in this game.
Wait, I thought this was Pliskin.
What do you mean, Pliskin? There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly swing our sword. That starts a 40-second internal timer, which is the game basically saying, okay, you started practicing, you got a little bit of time to just play around with the sword, get accustomed to it, and then we can move on. For us, a little bit of a shame because we know exactly how it works. Just swing once and just go, please. We still have to wait here.
Yeah, you have to wait at the north end of this, as far away from the spawn point as you can, just to stop you from losing time.
Yeah. And if we were playing on New Game Plus Boss, we could see horrific glasses on Snake. Just gonna say that it does look good, I think.
Got Ryan doing the moonwalk.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, if you see the blade switching from red to blue, red means it's lethal damage and blue is just non-lethal damage. I don't know how that works, but it works. This will be key later for the final boss fight. First up though, Tengu 1, we're gonna walk straight line towards the door at the end, and instead of fighting all these Tengus, we can just do a little twirl of the door and just walk out. I don't know why, but the door does like us dancing, we just can walk out like this. So let's see how that works out. There we go, 2 more to shoot. Lean against the door, punch, punch, kick, and during that turn, just let go of first person.
And that's the Tengu one, Skip. Basically, by going into first person and then doing a punch, punch, kick, it extends the range of Raiden's hitbox, and it allows him to just trigger the other side of the door. That trick can actually be done on any door in the game. The problem is that where there's an animation for Raiden walking out of a door when he loads into the next area. So if you try and do that and you haven't got the card key you need to get through that door, you just soft lock the game and Raiden is just constantly walking into a locked door and you can't escape.
Oh no. Oh, unfortunately, we gotta do it again.
I think I have to emit, not X.
You're gonna emit, yeah.
Yeah, this section of the game is just, we just call it Tengu 2 because it's the second Tengu fight. You get this screen, this fish and mailed. Basically, in the lore, you've uploaded a virus, and you haven't uploaded it fully, but it's started to corrupt the AI that controls Arsenal Gear, this big ship that we're in. And so this screen is actually just a fake screen. You just ignore it and continue to shoot. It probably caught a lot of people off guard when it first came out, because people probably pressed it. If you actually press like X or A, it will actually just continue. Like, it can cause the game to like go out and stuff. So you just don't. You just leave it. Just leave it there.
Indeed.
Tengu 2's actually had some really good exploration in some of the harder difficulties. There's a Tengu 2 skip that we don't do in very easy because it doesn't save any time, but in the harder difficulties it does. It involves lining the first set of Tengus up correctly, and then you just spray them with coolant spray. You just keep all of the, it looks like they're dancing around, and you just do that for a certain amount of time, and then like punch, kick one of them, and then the fight ends. It's really weird. We don't really know why it happens, but it's great. It's just it's not useful and very easy because it doesn't save us any time.
Yeah, basically we just need to wait here for Solidus to end his speech, and then we go straight into the next boss fight, which are the Metal Gear Rays. On very easy, we just need to defeat 3 Rays, shoot them in the mouth, and we're good to go.
This is the one point in the game where the IGT doesn't stop when you open a menu. Solidus's speech just continues. So we can get these really cool action poses. You should see House get his leg up like that. It's amazing.
I gotta warm up first, sorry.
Alright, and now we've got the Metal Gear Ray fight. Again, another one, blink and you'll miss it because it's very, very fast.
Yep. The weak spot is either in the mouth. No, that's it. I think just shoot them straight in the mouth. We shoot them in the knee so they open their mouth, and that's how we get out of it.
And that's the Ray fight.
GG. No save, boss. Let's go.
Yeah, on very easy, the Rays die with one hit to an open mouth. So it's just simply shoot the first two as they sort of like charge up and open their mouth. So as long as you land the shot as it's charging up, and then the third one, shoot it in the knee once just to make it sort of scream, and then shoot it in the mouth. Again, we've got quite a bit of a wait now. There's not really a lot that happens in this section. There's a few codec calls, this little unskippable bit. Another reason for using turbo, we don't want to have to repeatedly mash. On very easy, it's really easy, you could mash through it. On European Extreme, this section, like trying to keep Raiden's O2 up is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
And again, it was one of the things that the community voted on to allow for turbo to be used, because we felt that you shouldn't have to be able to mash through that horrible section just to be able to speedrun a game.
Yeah. Makes it more accessible in the end. Alright, last few sets of cutscenes codex, and that's finally time for the final boss fight, which is Solidus. We're going to use the sword against him, and hopefully he gives us nice elbows instead of attacking us in any other way. So let's see how that goes. The first out of the fight is just slashing him 3 times and then going away from him, because we want to bait him into sending rockets our way. Then we can quickly just follow up with him and do that again for 2 more times. So see, here are the rockets, just cartwheel past them, they can't hit us that way. Do that a 3rd time. 1, 2, 3, and then we go, that's the second phase of the fight. For the final phase, he's now going to dash around, and we hopefully just need to slash in 2 times of 3 slashes, and we're good to go. Ideally, he doesn't even dash around much. It can happen that he just does 1 dash, and then directly towards you, or just 4. So it really depends a little bit on the RNG.
And time here is going to be on the final hit on Solidus.
There you go. Okay.
One more combo.
Elbow.
Oh,
no,
nice.
No
Good RNG. Well, a little bit good
right.
RNG. He didn't
get ready for time,
and
time. Woo, GG.
Do you remember this place?
In the bottom left corner, you can see a new time has appeared.
This is where we first
The
met.
IGT does include credits.
I remember now.
VMan's GUI just adds on the time that we know the credits adds on.
Met you.
So that is Theory's final time, 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Yeah, normally we'd have to go to the score screen, but because we're here, we're just ending credits, it's fine. Yeah, you can skip the credits. I don't want to make people wait for 9.5 minutes of unskippable credits and jazz just to see a score screen.
And stay tuned for our medal next.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's Metal Gear Solid 2.
I think I found something to pass along.
Well, that was Metal Gear Solid 2.